Hi, it's now about 12:30 on May morning, or I suppose I should say on May Day. And I did video of the May morning celebrations in the city centre this morning. Now I'm going to do a shorter video showing some of the things going on in North Parade. And this is the path to North Parade from Woodstock Road, which is what I'm facing now. And this will be a much quieter affair. North Parade is a small street with a few shops on each side and 2 pubs. And I think I can hear Morris dancing now. And I do think this end, Church Walk, North Parade and Winchester Road is quite charming, especially when the trees are in flower. Well, this is ridiculous. The Gardener's Arms is closed without explanation. Why would they do that on this particular day? Very disappointing.
Keen observers will have noted you changed from this morning.
Yes. Well done.
Shorts.
Yes, so it's
Very wise, I'd say.
a little bit warmer now than it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Hey, why is the Gardener's Arms closed?
Pass.
Sorry?
I've no idea.
It's really,
That's odd, isn't it?
yes,
Today,
silly,
of
I'd
all
say.
days. Yeah.
Well spotted anyway. Thanks for saying hello.
Yeah, no, it's fine. One should encourage you younger chaps.
Os 0.3, não sei o que falta.
The Morris dancer was just saying that he'd noticed that I'd changed since this morning. I'm now wearing shorts.
I was saying to Pete.
Hi, can I have a pint of the bitter, please? Oh, right. You take cards? Well, first the important stuff. I just bought a pint of bitter from the outside drink station at the Rose and Crown, the other pub. Very efficiently organised. And that's, it's not particularly strong actually. It's a shot over brew. And it's okay in the heat, but it's only 3.7, which with this means it doesn't have much strength, but it also doesn't have much strength of taste, which is a shame. That's who I was waiting for. The Morris dancer with the piece of cheese on his head. And I think he's from Bampton. So let's just wander up and down North Parade. It comes out onto the Banbury Road at this end. And the white painted house here is reminiscent of the two flanking it at the other end. I much prefer North Parade to South Parade. It has a more cosy atmosphere, and I feel that it wouldn't be out of place on a Greek island. There's a little independent shop here, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m, 7 days a week, and that's very useful. It's got most things that you could need. Well, the one thing about North Parade is that it's very narrow, and it's difficult to video an event like this without getting in everybody's way. So I'm just going to walk round north and then back through Canterbury Road, or part of Canterbury Road.
Such that, you know.
This is Canterbury Road, and it will shortly rejoin Winchester Road, which is the one I came in on. These are the grounds of the Oxford Orthodox Church. There are now two Orthodox churches, the other one being near the Marston Road, but this is the original concrete pillbox. Not terribly attractive from the outside. And the people here, not this week but last week, will have been celebrating what the Orthodox call Bright Week, which I think the other churches call Holy Week, the week that starts with the Easter Sunday of Jesus's resurrection, Jesus coming back to life. And I think I'm right in saying that Bright Week is the most important week in the church calendar. And when it falls in weather like this, it must be especially impressive. I also think I'm right in saying that formally it begins with a mass that starts at midnight on Saturday and lasts for about 4.5 hours, finishes with a blessing from the priest. I've done this twice. Once in the old church in Athens. I think the name translates as the Church of the Mother of God. And once here. And certainly here, afterwards, there's a sort of mini party in the church house at the other end of the garden. And then round about midday, the people here used to go to 94 Banbury Road, which was where the priest lived. While he was on duty, he was given that house by the church in the same way that the vicar of St Barnabas is given the house by the garden, the one that I showed being re-roofed in a video about the garden, given that by the diocese. And the party here, the party in that house is a sort of barbecue which lasts all afternoon, and most of the parishioners make food and bring it along, and it is extremely tasty. And that is the start to Bright Week. Typical North Oxford architecture. When you look at something like this, that's St Hugh's College Gardens, by the way. When you look at something like this, you can see why somebody once told me North Oxford is the best place in the world to live. Mind you, he came from a pretty rich family, so he could afford a house here. Now I'm walking down Winchester Road. That's nice. Now I'm coming back into North Parade via the other end. It looks as though I'm not the only person dismayed that the Gardener's Arms has closed. And there are an assortment of little cafes, and that shop that I've noted before, which sells bread. I'm not sure whether it bakes it. Well, the street is narrow and I don't really have the best angle for videoing the Morris dances. And in any case, I've videoed quite a few Morris dances recently. But I hope that gives the atmosphere of North Parade, which is the main thing I want to show you. It's just a shame about that pub. And this happens every May Day. It's as much part of Oxford as the May morning celebrations on Magdalen Bridge and around. So see you for my next video. Happy May Day.